Good morning and happy Sunday, everyone. It is Sunday. It is actually a week from now. It'll be Christmas Eve. It is the beginning of the second to last full week of 2023. I can't believe it. Like, I mentioned this in my live vlog last night. This is the second to last week of 2023. I mean, we have this full week. We have a full week next week, which consists of Christmas, my birthday, and okay, technically New Year's Eve would be the start of another week, but yeah, like we are at the legit home stretch of 2023, and I mean, my prediction of having like 10 good days has pretty much already happened. But I'll get to that when we get to that. I have some NFL picks to make, as well as a few other things to talk about yesterday. Yeah, okay. Sorry, my screen was kind of being all funky. Okay. So, let's see. My low, my high, my act of kindness. I would say that my low is, I mean, here's the thing. I don't mean this is a bad thing in any way, but yesterday was kind of quiet and a little bit uneventful. I mean, I still went out and did some stuff, and I am going to talk about that in a minute. Well, I think it's uneventful compared to doing stuff like Holiday in the Square, or that one birthday party I went to, or SantaCon. Like, those were all really great days. This was, you know what it is, and I think Chucky Conner made the greatest analogy when it came to talking about Reshiram and Pokemon Black 2 and White 2. It's a 9.9 in a sea of 10s, if there ever was one. How about that? A 9.9 in a sea of 10s. That's fair, right? That's still good. 9.9 is pretty sweet. Okay, so there's that. My high is, I did do some stuff here. So I got to see my family yesterday. Went to church. Went to 1894 Taphouse. I'll talk about that in a minute. Went to Illegal for a little while. Went to Swords for dinner. Saw some pretty exciting football games. Yeah. It was a pretty awesome day. My act of kindness was, after church, my father had like a parish financial meeting. And so I had to help my mom watch my nephews when we went out to dinner. And yeah, it was fun. Got to watch my nephews for a little bit. Love being with my nephews. Got to sit next to my godson. It was awesome. I mean, my twin nephews are 4. My youngest one is 2. The 2-year-old still has to be in like the booster seat. He was easily the most like well-behaved of the 3. But yeah, the twins are definitely 4. Like the terrible 2s and the threatening 3s. They're definitely the fearsome 4 right now, okay? That's them. But they're my nephews and I love them. So, without taking it out of the way, let me get into today's NFL picks. Let's see. Let's talk about the games I guessed yesterday, because I was right about all of them. I guessed the Bengals correctly, I guessed the Colts correctly, I guessed the Lions correctly. Yeah. I'm 3 for 1 this week. Pretty sweet. Let's see. Let's talk about the Giants versus the Saints. Man, the Giants are a bit in the up and up right now. But I think the Saints are going to win today. Bears and the Browns. I'll go Browns. Falcons and the Panthers. Falcons. Bucks and the Packers. You know what? I think I'll pick the Packers to win. Jets and Dolphins? Dolphins. Please. I mean, don't get me wrong. It'd be sweet if the Dolphins lost, and that would really help Buffalo out a lot. But I'm thinking that the Dolphins are going to take this. Chiefs and the Patriots? Chiefs. I mean, the Patriots are completely out of playoff contention. They have no chance of beating the Patriots. They have no chance of beating the Chiefs today. Texans and Titans? You know what? I wouldn't mind seeing the Texans win this game. I really wouldn't. Let's see, 49ers and Cardinals. 49ers. I mean, it's a division game. They're definitely going to try hard, but I think the 49ers are going to take it. Commanders and Rams. Rams. And the Ravens and the Jaguars. You know, I actually have a friend of mine who's a Jaguars fan. And the last time I picked the Jaguars to win, they lost pretty handily. I hope I'm wrong, but I think I'm going to take the Ravens. I think the Baltimore Ravens, with the win tonight, are going to clinch their playoff berth and the number 1 seed. So, yeah. Those are my picks today. But let's move on to what happened last night. I went to 1894 Taphouse because they were doing like some samplings and whatever. Like there was a bourbon they were sampling and a tequila, as well as a sort of a cocktail of the two. Like for the bourbon, it was a whiskey sour, and for the tequila, it was a margarita. I really am trying to be better about learning how to taste things like this, like anything alcohol related, and I think I'm getting a bit better. I'm definitely noticing like what happens when you actually add other ingredients to, you know, a spirit and then you make a cocktail out of it. Like, for example, that bourbon I had, like, this was a strong bourbon. Like, there was definitely a bit of a burn that went along with it. But, you know, all you did was add ingredients to make a whiskey sour, and the burn was, you know, completely gone. I thought it was actually quite nice. And then there was the tequila. Now, I mentioned this before. Growing up, my father told me that there was one spirit you should probably be very wary of. It is tequila. Because, at least to him, it tastes like what paint thinner smells like, if that makes sense. And admittedly, I do kind of see where my father is coming from. This is definitely a pretty strong tequila, but a good one. Like, I think tequila has like that sort of burn that comes with it too. I didn't really get that. Which means the margarita that came with it was actually a very approachable cocktail. Like, if you're like trying to experiment and trying to learn how to like craft drinks and cocktails, that margarita was actually quite nice. I thought it was, you know, quite excellent, in fact. Then I went over to Italy. Then there was going to be karaoke too, but the last time I did karaoke, especially when it's by this one company that these people like to use, like, they have a good selection of songs, but none of them are the ones I want to do. Like, they had like one song last time I did karaoke with them, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm glad I got to do that song. Doing karaoke that day made me feel a lot better about what happened earlier that week. I'm not going to get into it. Point is, like, it was good, but, you know, I want to do songs that are, like, more equipped for me to sing. Because, seriously, you put me in front of a microphone, I'm able to sing the music I want to sing. Like, no one's beating me. I guarantee you that. But, again, until that happens, just gonna have to deal. After that, I went over to Illegal for a little bit, and there was this place called Journey Fitness in Horseheads, which is essentially like, you know, workout and CrossFit. They were having like a big party or whatever, and like these people were definitely having a lot of fun. They were celebrating like their coaches and whatever and stuff like that. And like this one bald guy brought like a portable karaoke machine which, I mean, I guess that's one way to take a party anywhere, I suppose. But like, I'm at the Barrel House. A friend of mine is working at the bar. Like, a few of us who clearly were not involved with that party were like relegated like one corner of the bar. And we couldn't hear each other talk. We could not hear each other talk at all. Because, again, the big old, it was a karaoke machine / boombox / like radio and stuff like that. It came in like one, like, you know those suitcases that like you pull in the airport, it's got wheels? It was kind of like that. And it was loud, but you know, those people were having fun. Far be it for me to, you know, yuck in anyone's yum or rain in anyone's parade. So yeah, all in all, it was a fun night. I would say it was a good day. Pretty solid day overall. I got to see my nephews. Got to go to 1894 Taphouse. Got to go to illegal for a little bit. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And to go over my picks again, I've got the Saints, the Browns, the Falcons, the Packers, the Dolphins, the Chiefs, the Texans, the 49ers, the Rams, and the Ravens. Those are all my picks and nothing else. Oh, I'm not going to get by any of you, am I? Alright, fine. I knew I was going to have to do this eventually, but I didn't want to do it now. So, the big game of this week, for sure, without question, I don't think anyone is going to say otherwise, is my Dallas Cowboys versus the Buffalo Bills. I mean, look, I love my Dallas Cowboys. And I am always rooting for the Bills Mafia. I'm practically surrounded by the Bills Mafia. I've got some cameras around here making sure everything's okay. This is a tough one for me to pick. Not just because I like both teams, but this game could legitimately change the course of the NFL season for the remainder of the season. Because if Buffalo wins, they actually, I do believe, move on to one of the playoff spots. Or at least, like they're the 10th, they're like the 11th seed right now. And I think they would move to the 8th or 7th seed. If they make the 7th seed, they're in the playoffs. If they win today. And that would further help them do that. My Cowboys, on the other hand, we just finally defeated Philadelphia. And outright exposed them for who they are. We are the number 2 seed right now because San Francisco thoroughly beat us. I know for a fact the Eagles are probably going to beat the Seahawks tomorrow. So if Dallas loses, we're right back to where we started before we beat Philadelphia. Philadelphia's going to have a game on us. They're going to be the number 2 seed. Meanwhile, we'll go back down and be the number 5 seed. Meaning, we have no shot at any kind of home game for the playoffs. I mean, it's bad enough chances are the road to the Super Bowl is probably going to have to go through San Francisco. But the fact you got to travel everywhere, that's going to really hurt us. I really did give this a lot of thought. I mean, a lot of thought. Because here's the thing. The Bills lost to the Eagles only because of poor officiating, for sure. I mean, seriously, 2 horse collars and no one noticed? Honestly, the Cowboys versus the Bills should be a much more fair game. Really, it's going to be the game that the Bills should have gotten against the Eagles. One that's fair and square. And therefore, the Bills actually have a chance to win on their own merits. I actually gave this a lot of thought. And it occurred to me. The last time the Dallas Cowboys actually beat the Buffalo Bills was back in 2008, the year of the undefeated Patriots. For those of you who don't know what happened, the Cowboys were actually the number 1 seed going into the playoffs that year. They were 13-3. We actually played the Patriots really good. We lost to the Patriots, but we actually played them pretty good. We are pretty much the one team capable of taking the Patriots head on. This is before we knew the Giants were the Giants. And, I mean, we had 13 Pro Bowlers we had that year. You're probably wondering what happened. We did Cowboyish things. And by Cowboyish things, I mean, okay. As someone who had to put up with Tony Romo for a good, pretty much all of my teenage angsty years, and even some in college, and some after college, I can forgive Tony Romo for the bobble in Seattle. I can forgive Tony Romo for all the times he choked. I can even forgive the fact that literally after one season, literally after this one time when his last play of that season was an interception, which would have been a chance to come. I mean, we were going to the playoffs that year, but come on, you want to end the year on a high note, right? We lose, and so they give him a 7-year, $100 million contract, making him at that time the highest paid quarterback. I can forgive all that. Would you like to know what I can't forgive? The fact that Tony Romo took himself, Jason Witten, and the entirety of the receiving corps, minus Terrell Owens, to Cancun during their bye week instead of, I don't know, preparing for the playoffs. Now, it's just me personally, but if I was an NFL player and I wanted to go to Cancun, I would actually go to Cancun after I won the Super Bowl. Listen, I know Tony Romo has numbers. I'm sure a lot of people are probably clamoring him to make a case for why he should be in the Hall of Fame. But I'm sorry, just because of how he screwed over his team that year, he shouldn't be allowed in the Hall of Fame. But it's not about that necessarily. It's about numbers and how you also condone yourself off the field. And, Tony Romo was a class act, and he's still a class act, so, you can't really fault him for that. Plus, what keeps a lot of Cowboys fans from being as mad about that as they really should be is the fact that Tony Romo did in fact own up to it. And near the end of his career, he did at least get better. But that's a tale for another time. My point is, it's been a long time since my Dallas Cowboys have beaten the Buffalo Bills. And quite frankly, we have been on a sheer revenge tour throughout this whole season. We couldn't exact our vengeance upon the 49ers. But everybody else, we've been able to do. And I think today's going to be no different. I'm picking my Dallas Cowboys over the Buffalo Bills. Enough said. I hope you like this video. Like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow on social media. As always, I'm very humble this video for all of you guys who are watching. Enjoy for today. Hopefully you have a wonderful Sunday. Oh, yeah, it's Happy Sunday. I did do Happy Sunday, didn't I? And remember, if you guys want to talk to us, we're here to let you know you're back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.